Yes. Yes. We're doing reaction videos to some parliamentary comments in South Africa by politicians reacting to Donald Trump's suspension of humanitarian aid. In this video, I'm looking at the comments made by the Action SA, one of the small parties. Action SA parliamentary leader Athol Trollip, who is also a former high-ranking member of the Democratic Alliance. Joined the Action SA recently. Yeah, these were his comments. I'm gonna cover his comments just now, in a second. Okay, here they are.
This debate today is a tragic legacy of 30 years of ill-considered and ill-fated choices made by this government. Churchill said about Britain's decision to sign the Munich Agreement in 1938, and I quote, "You've been given the choice between war and dishonor. You have chosen dishonor, now you will have war," close quote. The ANC have systematically chosen dishonor in their one-eyed international relations, and now we are going to suffer the consequences of these choices. Again, the fashionable acronym FAFO springs to mind. You've told Trump to leave us alone. One of your GNU ministers stood here and gave him the finger. Now we are alone. Naledi Pandor did everything conceivable to insult, infuriate, and alienate the USA while she was the Minister of International Relations. Yet she was the first to encourage the government to send envoys as quickly as possible to try and salvage our relationship with the USA. Amazing. Nomvula Mokanyana infamously said, "When the rand falls, we'll pick it up." When are you going to pick up the rand? The president said, "I'd rather be seen as a weak president than split the ANC." Well done, you've achieved both. But look what your philosophy of putting the party first and the country second has bequeathed us. You will blame AfriForum and Solidarity for Trump's punitive executive orders and possible repeal of AGOA. This scapegoating, though convenient, doesn't hold any water. Incidentally, who the hell do AfriForum, Solidarity and the DA think they are anyway? Who granted them SA envoy status to go cap in hand to canvass for the protection of minority rights in the USA? Something that never existed for majorities before 1996. These protections in our Constitution and Bill of Rights far exceed the protections of minorities in the USA. A former leader of the opposition wrote this weekend that AfriForum has been peddling years-long racially divisive disinformation campaigns. Where are the real SA envoys? Javier Milei recently said at Davos, and I quote, "Argentina faced 100 years of systematic economic failure."
Okay. Listen, man. Clearly this guy doesn't like the ANC, doesn't like the ANC foreign policy. Especially, I've already said in several videos in the past that white South Africans, they have a hard-on for Israel. So it's no surprise for me that, because a lot of what is going on here now is condemnation of the ANC in terms of its foreign policy actions in the past that have infuriated the United States. Case in point, the issue of Israel. However, he's not saying anything about the issue of the specific allegations about white South Africans being oppressed. And I know why he's not saying anything about it. He's not saying anything about it because it's just not true. So his entire speech in this case is focused on the issues of foreign policy disagreements and failures between South Africa and the United States and putting the blame on South Africa. While the video by Julius Malema was putting the blame on the United States on the issue of failure in diplomacy. And the issue here is not, the issue here with this particular speech is that he's not addressing the elephant in the room, the accusation that white South Africans are being oppressed. He's not even touching that issue. He's talking about other extraneous issues, which we know, as I said in the video with Julius Malema, that it's very likely that the reason why this is happening has nothing to do with these allegations of white oppression, which is obviously bullshit, because no one is being oppressed here. That it has everything to do with it, with the United States being upset that South Africa has not been supporting its foreign policy objectives, or what you would call the American interests. Case in point, supporting Israel in their continued genocide and slaughter of innocent people in Gaza. So because of that, and because white South Africans, and Action XA in particular, supports Israel. So that's really the tenor of this entire dialogue that he's putting here. Has nothing to do about whether there are unlawful actions of confiscating of white-owned land, white South Africans being mistreated. He's not saying anything about any of that because he knows that it's not happening. So I just wanted to make those comments. But maybe let's hear the rest of it to see maybe he says
as a result of taking weak stances on major global conflicts and as a result of having closed ourselves off to trade. We lost
weak stances on global conflicts. I'm assuming that has to do with us not joining the NATO proxy war with Russia, where we refuse to condemn Russia and not be involved in also conflicts that have nothing to do with us, and conflicts where we are being lied to about, where we are told that that Russia provoked this war against Ukraine, when we know that NATO is actually the one that provoked this war. Everybody knows this, but okay. And I've already said that in past, while South Africans support Israel, they hate Russia. So it came out. As I said, I did an entire thing with regards to who is to blame in terms of not in terms of who is to blame, in terms of why we have unpacking the issues between South Africa and the United States. And this issue with white farmers has nothing to do with anything. This is the real issue. Here's the truth coming out now. What's really going on? Our stance on Russia, our stance on Israel. I'm glad now, though, that we're telling the truth.
practically all international significance. Argentina has been infected by socialism for too long, and that it would once again embrace the ideals of freedom, defense of life, liberty, and private property, close quote. The world has embraced Argentina's commitment to these ideals, and as an example of fiscal responsibility.
Okay, guys, I'm so sick and tired of this bullshit about socialism. I'm so sick and tired of it. I'm not even gonna go into it. Like, this obsession that white conservatives have with demonization of socialism. I'm sick and tired of it. I'm sick and tired of it. Yeah, so I'm gonna just end it right here. And that's 2/3 of the speech by Atol Trollip, where he says nothing about the oppression of white South Africans because there's nothing there. There's nothing to say. Yeah, anyways, it is so interesting. Yep. I've given you almost two contrasting views of this issue of the conflict between South Africa and the United States, coming from the hard left and from a party which I'll consider maybe Action say is probably center-right to right-wing. And none of them have confirmed anything about... I know that a lot of white Africans hate Julius Malema. Okay, that's well known. But tell me now about Atol Trollip, your fellow white man. He clearly doesn't believe that you guys are being oppressed. So is he also an ANC group, as you are accusing me? Is he also like an ANC sycophant? I have a better idea. Maybe you are just not being oppressed. Maybe this is what's happening. You are not being oppressed. So, which is why I shall probably be spending so much time talking about our stance on Russia, our stance on this and that and the third, but nothing to do with what the actual issue that has been said to be causing this entire higgy hug, which is the fact that it's alleged that we are oppressing you. You are not, no one is oppressing you. Cut the bullshit. Anyways, see you on the next one.